Why, hello everybody! Welcome to another exciting session of Let's Play Third Age Total War. I am King Squeeth the 16th, or Squee913, as some know me better. And welcome to the second session. This is going to be the next 10 years of our fateful campaign of Gondor. So, this session is a bit different than last session. First of all, there's a couple things we need to discuss before we get started. First of all, for example, I've had no word from my cultural development advisor for the past week, which, let's be fair, people, every advisor doing this is doing this volunteer basis, and we all know that real life tends to get in the way of hobbies and whatnot. So, for someone like to get busy for a week and not be able to participate is really to be expected. So in that case, for example, our advisor of cultural development, Kev Bob, he's probably really busy. I'm going to kind of step in and take the reins. And I'll do that as the session, as the Let's Play continues, because there's going to be times when other people are too busy to participate. So, you know, being the king and all, I guess doesn't hurt to take the reins every once in a while. So for the next 10 turns, I will be directing the cultural development, and then of course Kev Bob will just take back over next session. And of course, if any other advisor, for example, maybe the advisor of troop movement at one time, has a busy week or whatnot, I'll take over his job as well. And other than that, the other aspects of this are... I'm actually going to be taking the reins on a few things, only because we weren't able to get very specific instructions since we're really not sure what's going to happen. For anyone who wasn't or hasn't seen the War Council, let me do a quick recap for you. During the War Council, as you all know, of course, we've taken Western Osgiliath. We're in the middle of sieging Cair-Andros. We took Anoland, Western territory all the way over here, and we took this island down here. Now, during the War Council, we discussed several things. We talked, of course, about maybe taking this city of Bernhard, I believe it is. Yeah, in fact, let's move this by a little bit over here. Which is, we're pretty sure, about to be besieged by this Harad army. We also discussed the notion of maybe making peace with Harad, because they're not really an evil faction, so we can make peace with them and build our relationship with them, and if we can make peace with them, then we wouldn't have to be fighting two wars. We also considered the idea of taking Eastern Osgiliath and pushing to Henneth Anun, kind of pushing them more towards territory and try and take land from them. We also discussed the idea of maybe sending a campaign up here into Isengard. Isengard's at war with Rohan, so it would be beneficial for Rohan, and it might make, since Isengard's distracted with Rohan, might make him easy pickings. However, after some testing and predicting by our advisors and their staff, things changed a bit since the War Council. Our advisor of Grand Strategy did some tests, did some predictions, and it turns out that we have to shift our focuses elsewhere. We predict, at least they predict, that sometime this session Mordor is going to start marching, and marching heavy, and we're going to have our hands full with Mordor, which has made peace with Harad almost vital now. So now our intentions are to make peace with Harad at all costs. That is the directive from our advisor of diplomacy. If at all possible, we will make it. And then the advisor of Grand Strategy wants us to shift as many forces as we can. He actually says halfway through the session he wants 75% of our forces over here on the Eastern Front, if that's possible. That's, I mean, and we're not even considering going into Isengard anymore. That's how concerned we are about Mordor at the moment. We are worried that we won't be able to keep what we've taken. We're not even considering Henneth Anun anymore. We are wanting to capture Eastern Osgiliath because we feel it's vital to the defenses of the realm. But we're expecting to be pressed, and we're expecting to be pressed really hard. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's generally the overall details. So let's go ahead and get started here. First of all, a couple of things from the Advisor of Treasury. We need to adjust some taxes, some little shopkeeping. So in Anulan, taxes should be very high for as long as Lord Arvidier is around, and they would be to a lord back to a high level if and when he leaves. Now, before we do that, though, before we move them to very high, I see. Before we move them to very high, though, we have to send the general somewhere else momentarily. Sorry, I'm very sleep deprived at the moment, so you might have a couple yawns here and there. So we will change the taxes in that in a minute, but we're going to send the general up here to... Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Well, no. One thing at a time. I'll get ahead of myself. We're going to send a watchtower. Build a watchtower up there. So, Londgalen. Taxation level should be high there. So, where's Londgalen? Is it down here? No. No. Where's Londgalen? It's back over here? Yes, right here. Taxes level should be high. There we go. Alright, Dol Amoth, very high. Alright. There we go. That's a hefty increase right there. Erich, very high. Alright. And it was explained to me that, because I was hesitant about dropping below 100, but it was explained to me that as long as the happiness is over 75, then we should be fine. I hope. Okay. Anurch, very high. Arnach. Where's Arnach? Oh, there it is. There we go. And, Pillar here. Very high, so... There we go. Yeah, that's a big difference. Alright, so, we got the taxes set. And then Gobin Tophis, very high as long as Lord Boromir is around, and high when he and his army leaves. Also, before, taxes should be raised in conquered territories as well as in towns where we can manage to build some upgrades to local infrastructure. The level of taxes should not make the people of Gondor, your humble servants, mad to the point where they would rebel against you, but a public order of 75% is acceptable. Okay. So, down here, very high, until Boromir leaves. So our tax income at the moment is looking like 1,500. It's not bad. And we have 8,789. Now, according to our treasurer, okay, we start with 8,789, of which 431 is in the cultural reserve, 535 is in the military reserve, and 450 is in the agents reserve. 2,000 is the safety pocket. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be too numbery here. Which leaves us 5,373 for which to negotiate peace for Haradrim. So in other words, we're going to make a diplomat, and we're going to offer up to 5,373 gold to make a ceasefire. That's how concerned we are with Mordor. That's how much we want peace. So we're going to make a diplomat over here. Hang on. Whew. Yeesh. Couldn't even hit stop record in time. Alright, we're going to make a diplomat there. And we're going to send the ship
Ships ready.
Up here to go get him. Ah. Wrong button.
Ships ready. Set sail.
Alright.
We can go no further.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Okay. And the rest of this profit, we can't decide yet until until we've made peace with Harad. However, we can go by the normal. If profit is over 1,000, army upkeep is more than 10,000, which right now, army upkeep is under 10,000. Profits is over 12,000. What? It was 1,200. It was 1,500 a second ago. Oh, right, because we made a diplomat. Blah, blah. Alright, and the diplomat is from the Agent's Reserve, so how much is that diplomat? 250, which gives him 200 gold left. So we had 1,500, of which let's see. If profit is over 1,000, but the army upkeep is less than 10,000, everything we make goes to army recruiting or army reserve fund. Okay. However, the advisor of military development said to hold off. My king, since my allowed amount of money is low right now, I am thinking that we put a hold on making troops for up to 4 turns and then raise a mass force of militia in every town you rule. Alright? So, not until turn 14 are we going to build army units. So, I guess that 1,500 will just go to the reserve fund for the military, making it 2,035 gold. Alright, well, we'll probably need that once we start massing an army. Plus, if Mordor starts pushing us really hard, that'll give us the ability to make more troops. And I don't know if we can hire mercenaries or not in this game. It's always a interesting thing I wanted to take a look at. Can we hire mercenaries? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever asked that. All right. So, that's it for the money for this turn. On to grand strategy. Let's just give you an overview of what we wanted to accomplish this session. Like I said, it's not as detailed as last session because a lot of it depends on how Mordor moves, which means a lot of it's going to be up to me, which we had talked about that and planned for it. Obviously, peace with Harad is vital, and once we get peace with Harad, if we can get peace with Harad, okay, basically he's saying we need a peace treaty, period. If we don't get that peace, we won't be able to hold either Mordor or Harad at bay for long. The advisor of troop movement, this is the advisor of grand strategy talking to the advisor of troop movement. Harad can wait. Get our forces to the north. We want peace with them. He's no longer a priority. So basically, even if we don't get peace with Harad, he wants us to not take the Haradrim city because he needs those forces up north. So even if we don't get peace with this guy, we're going to leave just an acceptable garrison up here and start shifting our people up to the eastern front. He wants 75% of our forces at the eastern front, 4,500 men, halfway through the session. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but I will definitely be able. I will definitely attempt it. How many people do we have here? Where are my lists? Military forces. We have 784 here. What about here? Who's this? Cathar.